Tell me when to start.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. 1 second. I'm just waiting to get this notification. And so to me, as you can tell from my Facebook, they don't run my page.
I knew that. I just wanted to say that out loud now. I knew that.
Okay, so here we go. And okay, we are live. I want to thank everyone for taking time out of your busy schedule today to tune in with us on a special edition of Off the Record. Today we have a great guest, someone who watched me grow up, watched my siblings and I grow up, and many of you all grow up. Sis Amina Haqq. Thank you, Sis Amina, for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the podcast this morning. How are you doing?
Fine, praise be to Allah. I want to say thank you so much. I'm so honored. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank your beloved mother, my hero. I want to thank her so much for being a wonderful example and raising you and your siblings and being such a support system to that great man, your dad. So I want to say to you, thank you so much. And I'm honored and I'm so proud of you, what you're doing. I'm really glad that you called me and asked me to share my experience.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. My sister Naima says, "Assalamu alaikum, family." Walaikum salam, Naima. Thank you. Okay, thank everyone else for tuning in. Sister Amina, let's get straight into it. What made you... Okay, first is, before we get straight into it, what is the sign that someone might be battling depression?
Funky. They funky. They attitude funky. They don't take no baths. They musty smelling. They stink. They don't get up and go to work. They don't brush their teeth. They snapping on everybody. Even people that go to work and bathe. But if they snapping, they unmanageable. Depression, if you think about it, is depression. So anything that brings an individual down. So say a married man that got a wife and family, even if you ain't satisfied, you're depressed if you're cheating. It brings you down. So anything that brings you down, and the signs of it is erratic behavior, irresponsible behavior, people who gamble and can't afford to gamble, depression.
Okay, yes, ma'am. What were some of the signs that made you realize that you were battling depression?
Oh, I was off the chain. Yeah, my attitude was stank. I wouldn't stay on the job. I always quit. I was snapping on everybody. And another sign that I knew that I needed to change was all the young sisters that's probably about 30 now, 35, that we all kind of grew up together. I'm older than them. They knew that I loved them, but I came across so hard. And somebody told me that it appears that I don't love them, even though they know I do. No, I got tired of being misunderstood. And it wasn't their fault. It was something that I didn't know how to relate. So what I found out was the way I came across to my girls that I came across over the years, I really saw them as myself, or I saw them on the road to my old self. So instead of me being able to give them a life jacket, I came to choke their ass out, like choking them out of the situation. So it was always a misunderstanding. And I knew that I was so embroiled with pain that I needed some help. Rage, anger, bitterness, I knew I needed help.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, now I got a chance to witness firsthand some of the previous experiences with you and some of the some of the younger women. How are you our relationship now that you recognize that and have gotten better? How did you?
I'm so humbled by what I saw Allah do in their life, despite themselves and despite my fears. So even if we err, but Allah is off returning to mercy. See, when I was in pain, I forgot that part of who God was, the forgiver, the off returning to mercy. I forgot that. Only thing I saw was, if she keep doing it, she gonna die. If she keep doing it, she gonna get AIDS. If she keep doing it, she gonna have a bad reputation. But what I forgot was what Allah had done for me before that. Like, I ain't got the virus. Like, I ain't finished. I'm on top. And even though I bear the scars of the experiences I have, my overweight, me being overweight is a scar, a major scar that Allah is doing surgery with, like plastic surgery. He melting that thing off now because I'm learning how to surrender through this process. So when I watch the girls now, I think I have a really good relationship with them. And I want to say that any of your fan base, any of the young sisters, that if I've never got an opportunity, give them my number because I want to go see them face to face. I want them to see me face to face. I want to say that I apologize because I didn't know how to relate to you. I didn't know. Only thing I knew is that I saw you in pain. I was in pain watching you get ready to go down the path that I used to be in. And I was trying to prevent you from something. What I didn't know was Allah allowed you your journey, just like he allowed me mine, to make you great. And I didn't know that. So I apologize for the harshness. I apologize what seemed like unlovable. And I love you. I respect her. I respect the woman wherever they are on their journey. What I know is a journey. If she continues to grow and seek growth, I promise you, I'm gonna meet her up there. That's where I'm at.
Excellent. Go ahead, Sis Amina. Okay, I want. Mimi says, "Alaikum salam. Love y'all. Love you too, Mimi." She says, "Teach Sis Amina Haqq." Okay, Sis Amina, I have a question. What is it for people who don't know? What is your journey? Because you keep saying this journey that you went through. What is the journey?
First, I'm gonna say this, that I was molested. I'm a survivor of incest. And from that experience, I had no self-value, no self-worth. And I ran away. I went into foster care. And I was that child that we literally lived in in Rialto. It was a street called Jackson Street. It had the good side, and literally over a brick wall was the bad side. Well, there was something yearning inside of me for the realness. I needed to I literally could look over the wall and just wanted to see what they see. And people could always tell I wasn't about that life, but I tried, right? Because I grew up Muslim, but I wanted the excitement. I wanted the differentness. I wanted that. And unfortunately, as a result of the pain that I felt, I numbed the pain with that life. And so I engaged in what people call human trafficking today. I prostituted as a teenager. I ran from situations that would put me in situations that would be long-term prostitution. I had no self-worth for at that time. We didn't call it prostitution. You know what I mean? If you needed what you needed, you did what you did. You used your assets, right? That's what we did. And so as a result of that, going back and forth for about 3 years in the system, I went back home to my parents. I was still angry with my mother for not making decisions that I thought that was on my behalf. At that time, my perception was blinded by my own personal grief. My experience was real, but what I've come to know later on, my mother didn't make a decision to reject me. She didn't have it for me. But at the time, I was angry. And so I was on a fiery path of self-destruction in all kinds of different ways. And so I will say that my path is just today, I have 25 years, 9 months clean from drugs and alcohol by Allah's permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And so I'm going to also give anybody hope that's in the nation or considering this work in the nation that I came here though in 1993. Nope. I registered in the Nation of Islam in 1989. I didn't surrender the life until 1993. And that was only drugs. Mind you, I still was cursing people out for a long, long time after that. And let me be honest with you. People who curse people out, that's also a sign of depression because it brings you down. You think about it, right? So I cussed people out for about 20 years. Good. Now, when Dianetics was first introduced to us, I certainly know I needed it. And I didn't know if I was ready, but I took a leap of faith. And I'm going to tell you and to tell the world that I thanked Allah for Sister Aisha's decision to allow me when I said, listen, the co-auditor that they had me with, I was like, listen, man, this ain't working. I'm still going to go back home kind of messed up. I need something else. I ain't going to lie. I know that we was doing this thing on faith and trying it out, but I wasn't playing no games. Like I was having some thoughts that people wasn't going to, understand. And Sister Aisha was like, all right, we're going to give her a shot. They gave me Brother Arif. Now, and I'm going to tell you that I didn't like him. only because of what I had engaged in the past. I kind of thought he was kind of arrogant in the past. This is like in my mind, I was like, oh shit, brother Arf. Oh. And then my mind was like, once again, really? You gonna judge? I thought you said you needed help. And I'm gonna tell you, brother Arf is the best auditor I ever had in my life. I went there feeling so homicidal and so self-destructive that I didn't really, I was at a brink of no faith at that moment. When I got out of the session with Brother RF, it was like 5 or 6 hours. And I mean, he called it, later on described it to me as a straight wire. But Allah is my witness, when I came out of there, I wanted to call my stepfather who molested me. I wanted to call the people who in authority who weren't fair. I wanted to call them and say, listen, you know what? It really wasn't that bad. I mean, I thought you was the worst thing on the planet Earth. And yo, my husband was like, something's wrong with her. Because everybody knew going in, the people in authority were deadly wrong. Let me be straight up with you. They was wrong. But my perception of authority was warped by what I experienced in my past. So now if somebody hurt me, I started seeing them as all my perpetrators and predators. Instead of seeing them as they were. That's what auditing did for me. It put things in perspective. Keep it present, beloved. You're talking to Sister Lucy. You ain't talking to your mama. You ain't talking to the foster mother. You ain't talking to the police. You're talking to Lucy. You know Lucy's a liar. Why you even believe in her? So like auditing took the edge off. You know, I didn't want to hurt people like that as often. So I will be a witness that when you get audited regularly, and regularly means the same regular as defecation. People who defecate, if you eat every day and defecate twice a week, you ain't regular. No. So if we live in this world, regular is at least weekly. At least, and when you start feeling well, you need to still check in regularly just to get the edge off of you, because we live in such a low life that really causes depression. Listen, think about the people that live in Alaska that got 6 months of darkness. That is an environment that causes depression. So listen to the world that we live in. We got to work in a world, men. I'm going to talk about the brothers because I love the black man today. Thank Allah for his infinite wisdom and leaving us a servant in the Amba Mensalos Farrakhan, who put that. If it wasn't for that man and what Allah blessed him to put in us, I would have no regard for the black man. But I love the black man. And as a result of that, I think about the brothers who got to go to work and keep their eyes daggone near closed, because it's so much degradation that's offered. You ain't even got to really solicit no females today. They coming at you like, when I see this at work, I'm saying, man, the brothers got it hard, because I see women accost men, stuff that they accusing R. Kelly of. Women do. So when I think about it, I believe everybody need an auditor. Like, just sit down and get the edge off. Be able to share with somebody. Man, I went to work today, and this girl said that she trying to, she want to just hump me, right? And I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I want to hump her too. But if I do that, I'm gonna mess up my marriage, or I'm gonna get put out the mosque. And Allah is my witness. When you tell your auditor all of that, you heard yourself. The auditor ain't nobody other than a listening board. When you heard yourself say, I cheat with her, I get put out the mosque for 1 whole year, 12 months, 11 months, 29 days. What? Now, for somebody who loved the mosque, that's devastating. You know, somebody who really loved their family structure. It may be wrong, kind of rocky, but the family structure, after you finish talking to an auditor, you ain't gonna cheat that day. Because what happens is you heard yourself say, the God, really what happens for auditor, an auditor really is you on the other seat. They're only helping you to annihilate that devil in you, that brown germ, that voice that says that you ain't SHIT, and I'm going to help destroy you. The auditor said, no, they won't. Not with me and you. Nah, no, they won't. And so when people think they don't need nobody, you on your own, and you on your own, think with your own thoughts. Your mind tell you you're going to get away with it. But I promise you, in a world like this, you busted.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes, ma'am. And thank you, Sister Amina, for your transparency. Mimi says, truly beautiful. Elijah says, Allahu Akbar. Mac on Faith says, Walaikum Salam, family. Speak the truth. We feel you and support you. Naima says, thank you for your transparency. Mimi says, thank you for sharing. Excellent. Sister Amina, is there a specific, before we went live, you were speaking about your mother. And I had to go through some grief as well with the passing of my grandmother, but both of my grandmothers is like back to back. And then also my mother's cat, which is very dramatic as well. Don't judge me. But could you please talk about getting over the passing of your mother and the process of hardening and how that helped you deal with that?
I'm not gonna say I got over it. I said I'm gonna say that I'm getting through. And getting through, again, we talking about a journey, getting through to the other side, because life is a journey. It really is. And I will say that when my mom passed on August the 29th, the early morning, about 12:38 in the morning, August 29th, it was going to be a Friday, right? I was devastated. I felt a hole right here on my left side of my heart. I promise you, I felt a hole. It literally felt like somebody could put their hand through, but I had to tell myself in that quick second. It was like they was rolling my mom down the hall. The funeral director had already covered her up. Like, let me tell you something, how amazing Allah is. Because it ain't about the Dianetics. I'm talking about Allah introduced the registered believers to Dianetics as a tool to knock the edge off. You know what? You tell somebody, knock it off. Yo, they knocked it off, right? So what happened is, first of all, my mother had advanced stage kidney failure, and the doctors made a mistake. The hospital, I would say, she fell in the hospital. They were supposed to put barriers up so she can't get out of bed. And they trusted her. They let her get out of bed. She broke her hip. They sent her to a rehab while they do this hip surgery. And the rehab, they so understaffed, they allowed my mother to stay in her feces with her open wound. So what happened was the wound got infected. They had to take the new hip out and replace it with a cinder block, and told my mother she wouldn't walk for some time. And then they began to just bring her down. You understand? Right? Bring her down. And as much as I wanted her to be here, oh, mom, listen, you're going to be okay. She had made an agreement with her great God that I'm done. I'm tired. I'm suffering. These people, I can't walk. I can't trust nobody to take care of me. Like, why am I here? And Allah, in her passing, is life. So she passed. And my brother Asim was with me, and he's amazing. I want to shout my brother out. He is an amazing young man that took care of his mother. I'm talking about took care of his mother. And as a result, when she passed away, we were there. And as I'm looking at her, I kept telling myself, come the present time. You know what I started thinking about? People who start hollering and all of that. And my mind was like, if you start hollering, you know, mom don't like all that. My mother wasn't about all the hollering and screaming. She wasn't about all of that. Listen, whatever you had to say on earth, you better say it. That's why my mother and I thank Almighty God Allah as well, because through this process of me being in the nation for as long as I have, surrendering to this teaching, following the example of the minister, my mom and my relationship came 180 degrees. I hated her growing up. And I loved her all the way to Allah allowed her physical flesh to leave here. And so we watched her, but this is like my girl, my physical. You know what? In that moment, let me tell you what I thought about, what Allah brought to my mind. This may be what it's going to feel like when he allows the minister to make his temporary departure. And if I act a monkey now, I'm not going to survive him. So you better suck it up. Think about it. Suck it up. Figure it some way. Suck it up. And so I'm watching my girl physically leave here and remembering that her essence is still here. It's just that her body, she was tired. Listen, and another thing Allah brought to me, I said I wasn't ready. I was 48 at the time. You had her 48 years. You would have never been ready if you was 80. Ain't no kind of readiness. So I want to say something. Let me sidebar a moment. I'm going to get back to that, but I'm going to help people understand something about grief. Stop telling people, oh, was she sick? Like that was supposed to be better. You know, like almost that took the edge off of it. It don't matter how long they were sick. You lose your mama. You just came out of her. Now you watching her leave here. So stop telling people, asking them, was she ill? It's almost like, I know you mean well because you were taught that, but it invalidates the individual who's in pain. As if I'm supposed to have been prepared for her leaving. That's one. Here's another thing. Stop telling people she's in a better place. Because now I'm a sidebar venture off of my discipline in order to just express myself in such a way that the other Facebook fans can understand. If you don't know my mama fucking address, don't tell me she in a better place. You know where she at? What place she at? You got her address? Like maybe I can holler at her sometime. If you don't know she in a better place, shut the fuck up. Thank you. Now let me get back to the teachers of the Most High Elijah Muhammad. All right. I just had to just get that out for a second because that is something that tickles my damn flesh. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So now here's another thing we like to say. It gets better with time. That's a lie from the pit of hell too. I've talked to several of my women that I admire that have lost the physical presence of their mothers. And it's something that you never, ever, you get better with it. It's almost like a scab, brother. When you first fall, it's raw. Then it begins to scab over. And if you allow air it out, auditing, air it out.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll heal, but the scar will still be there. Now you can use it depending on the scar. Now, losing my mother wasn't no scrape on the knee. That was heart surgery. So when you have something, a real surgery, the scar remains just to remind you. So I'ma always remember my mama. But thank Allah, look how me and you talking about my mama and I ain't balling on the floor. And acting like I want to hide up under the covers. For what? I'm gonna be broke. You got to go back to work, boo-boo. Listen, relax. And I often thought my mother's words were, girl, you better get your behind about this damn bed. I'm going. I'm where I wanted to be. And so all praise is due to Allah. Back to auditing, having an auditor. I ran to Orlando, as I was sharing with you. When they took my mother's body out, my little girl was like, what am I going to do without her? And once again, the present time came in. The same thing you did when she was here. You're not a little girl. This is not kindergarten. She's not leaving you with the teacher. This is college. She prepared you for this, boo. So guess what? We watched her body go down. I still felt something. I told you that my brother, I was like I was feeling this sense of needing to be around my brother and my family. I said, well, Asim, what are you going to do? He said, well, yo, you know what I'm about to do. I'm gonna get lit. I said, oh, fuck that. I can't go with you. He was like, nah. I'm not gonna do it around you. I said, no. I can't trust what I'm feeling around any deviation. Okay. And I'm already, Allah is, like I said, doing surgery on my heart. So he's already working on my weight and giving me the courage to take care of that. But I knew in that moment, I couldn't trust myself. And it wasn't going to be your damn buffalo wings that's going to take care of this pain. So I knew that there was an NA convention in Orlando. And I also knew that the most trained auditors were in Florida. So immediately we had parted ways about 4:00 in the morning. Took me about 2.5 hours to get home. I got home, I packed a bag, and I went straight to the airlines. Thank Allah, I worked for the airlines. I had already notified that my mom passed, and I told him I was going to Florida. And so I went to Orlando, and it just so happened that Allah blessed me. There was a sister that said, yo, come stay on my come stay with me. And she quiet. She minds the business. She ain't there. So I ain't even got to talk to nobody. Ain't like nobody. And that's another thing. When the person is grieving, ain't all them questions. That's why a skilled auditor knows what to do. What do you feel? What does it smell like? Like you begin to get the sensation because in auditing, you get down to the basic.
Yes, ma'am.
It worked for me because I wound up contacting someone who connected me with an auditor. And after 5 hours with this lady, initially my mind was like, yo, she looked like a hippie. But my present time said, listen, either you gonna judge the way she look or trust that they told you they sending their best. I said, well, I'm gonna have to trust their best right now because I don't care. I can't go back to Charlotte like this. And Allah is my witness. That hippie looking lady, I'm telling you, Allah used that lady as a little savior that day. Because after bawling, I used to have a tendency that when I cry a lot, I develop an asthmatic type cough and wheezing and can't breathiness. And I'm telling you, that lady wasn't scared of none of that. I can't breathe. Can't care about none of that. Listen, continue. I said I can't breathe. Yo, she passed me a goddamn tissue, and I continue to. I'm talking about bunch of mucus, brother. But at the end, I'm telling you, I could have ran a marathon.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to God.
I still miss my mama, but I don't miss her like it's the end of the world. I don't miss my mama like nothing else matters. Like, let me say something, how my mother is. My mother is the kind of woman that said, Allah's sufficient for you. He gonna take me one day, and you better stand your behind there on what you know. Stand on that square. And I said to her, let me say, she was going back through these little coma pieces, right? And I was crying looking at her because she looked like she was dying. I ain't gonna lie about that. And she just opened her eyes. She said, what the hell are you doing? I said, Ma, yo, you dead wrong. I'm crying because I'm gonna miss you. She said, girl, please with that. For what? I said, Ma, you everything. My children, you teaching me how to be a mother and patient with them. You the sounding board when people get on my nerves. She said, girl, you crazy. And went back into a damn coma. I was like, is she faking? I'm gonna tell you something. My mother prepared me for this. And I'm telling you, if it had not been for the Honorable Minister Allah giving the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan the light, and the Minister Farrakhan giving us the light, I wouldn't be here in this place. I couldn't talk about my mother like this before. I was in a lot of pain, guilt. After, I went through something where I felt guilty for being so happy. Like I wasn't supposed to feel good. Let me tell you, my mother said, I want you to feel good. She said it. My mother wasn't selfish like that, man. Listen, get on with your life. Mine is over. This is how she talked as she was leaving. And I'm bugging out like, yo, is she suicidal, Lord? And then we started telling her that, right? Like I said, Ma, I think you're being suicidal. She said, ma'am, this is reality. I can't walk. I ain't gonna walk. These daggone people don't know what the hell they doing. I already fell. They giving her all kind of major drugs that if they had released her on the street, my mother left this physical presence with 30 years clean. She knew in her current state, the way they was doping her up, that if they had released her and there was no pain management, she was going to be in trouble. And she didn't want that for herself. She had gone so far in life on an elevated plane that at that point, it was almost like she wanted to leave the world like that. I wanted to leave the world on top. You feeling me? And she was tired. You know what I mean? And so when the body wears, it stops. Like, listen, let me say, Allah started bringing analogies. I learned from analogies. So he started relating to me in analogies. I had my first car. It was like a 90-something Toyota Taurus. If I continue to grieve over that damn Taurus, it is not even a modern car today. I don't even know if they still make Ford Tauruses, but I'm just saying. When the engine go out, you can keep trying to get a new engine, a new transmission, and new body work, but it's time to let the car go. Allah brought that to me, that my mother's body began to wear out. So naturally, she would have gone either then or 80, you know what I mean? But anyway, she was still leaving. And it wasn't about her leaving. It was about how am I now gonna live? So I'm telling you that auditing works, brother. I'm telling you that if you gotta find yourself a therapist, if you're a drug addict and you can't find an auditor right now, run your behind to an NA meeting. but find something that's going to get you to strike the fire. Here's another thing that people be bugging out in religion. I don't care what religion it is. They act like it's the end all, the be all, and they goddamn church. It's millions of damn churches. And obviously with all the drugs and fornication and pimping and hoeing that's going on, you ain't the end all, the be all, you know? So how about you allow some other tools to help some of this flock? So Dianetics is an awesome tool. It's an awesome tool.
Praise be to God. Thank you. And thank you very much for your realness and your honesty. Rashad sends a greetings. Everybody sends a greetings. Everybody's in the comments. Keith R from San Antonio. Thank you all for watching. Okay, Sister Mimi. Oh, also, this podcast would not be possible because I have to pay for these podcasts if it was not for my sister Mimi's book, ABC I Love Me. Get it on Amazon, y'all. She supported the podcast. Okay, Sister Amina Haqq. Okay, so now we have to go back to this. The prostitution time period or the sex trafficking and all of that. What advice would you give to young women who may be, whether they're getting paid or not, or young men who may be prostituting themselves in some shape or form, whether it's illegal, whether it's for food or anything, who just are very loose, if we are loose with our bodies, what advice would you give to us? And could you tell us exactly how the auditing process helped you get over that?
I'm going to say to you that when we engage in that life, when I'm sexing somebody for food, there's a tape by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called Satan and the Mastery of Sexual Urges. That was my first audit. Let me be honest with you. That's straight up. I promise you, before I came into the nation in 1989, I really didn't think it was nothing wrong with sexing somebody. Listen, I needed $100 pair. I needed rent. I needed this. I needed that. Listen, if they want vagina, I will give them what they want. I thought it was fair exchange. Let me tell you what the master said. He said that you exchange your precious body for a dirty dollar. That was the first time I said, damn. Let me give you an analogy. I learned from analogies. That's like somebody giving you a quarter and you giving them $100. That's why I ain't selling pussy today. Just a little sidebar. That's all for MDT language. That's for the fan base that can understand my understanding. I'm just saying, I don't even screw outside of my marriage because once again, I'm giving this nigga diamonds and he giving me some shit from Family Dollar. His shit gonna last about 3-5 minutes, but I'm left, let's be honest, goddamn on it, let's be honest. But I'm left with the filth of his spirit left with me. He ain't gonna wanna take care of me. I mean, you feeling me? He ain't gonna call me back. And it's only gonna trigger my worthlessness. So I say this too. Let me venture off of the language. For the brothers who love to get their dick sucked, you're like Samson and Delilah. Every time she go down on you, she's sucking your strength. And you wonder why you tricking. You tricking. She's sucking your dick. She's sucking all your damn power. So I'm venturing off. This ain't MGT class. This is Facebook Live podcast. So for all you all that want to report me, I'm being honest about this. I'm not talking to the Muslims. I'm talking to the ones who want to be Muslims. Hello. I'm just being honest. So I want the brothers that may be the greatest sensation for a man, but that is also your greatest downfall. Cause now you a slave to her. Why are these brothers out here fighting each other over? And I swear to God, I always say it. I bet you she sucked a dick. I bet you she sucked a dick. Every time a man out there fighting in the street, bringing guns to the damn job, she sucked his dick. Now he out here acting retarded. She sucked somebody else's penis. See, he knew how it made him feel, so he don't want another man to feel like he feel. So here's what I'm gonna say. For anybody that's on the fence about getting married, go get you one. Stay with one and make it work. It works. It's a business. Marriage is a business. You're gonna have losses, goddamn. You ain't gonna always be in love. Stop letting people make you think that marriage is the most beautiful shit in the world. It is beautiful in its essence. But in fact, goddamn, it's some painful shit. So I'm just saying, but it has its beautiful results and payoffs. You understand? So I'm saying, like, it's better to be married. That's for those who are struggling in that way. Go get you a wife. You too. You a good man. Go get you a good woman. There are plenty of good sisters out here. You hear me? Plenty of them. And the only reason why you keep looking is because you ain't sat in front of a good auditor. I got you, though. But look here. I'm just saying, though. You know? Yeah. So listen here. Off that subject. I'm just saying. For the ones that are still struggling in this life to, I'm sexing for survival. This is what I got to do. Again, you exchanging diamonds for pebbles. Diamonds are worth, endless numbers. But pebbles, somebody gave you a rock. Now, let's go into the drug game. You ever bought weed and it just wasn't weed? That's you going to exchange your body and somebody giving you a dummy. So you got your rent paid, but you're going to have to keep selling pussy every month to get your rent paid. My thing is, I'm going to be honest. Let me just venture off once again from the language. All right. Okay, let me talk to Facebook world here. I see the thoughts come in all of our minds. Let me be straight up. But here's what kills it. Unless I can have sex with somebody and they give me $10 million, that ain't gonna happen. Let me tell you why. First of all, it ain't gonna be $10 million. Let me just be straight. Second of all, because my thing is, I don't want to have to keep doing this shit. Just what it takes you down. You just got to keep being somebody else. You keep playing a role, keep dying inside of yourself, keep deadening your spirit to keep doing this shit. So I'm thinking if I can get a one-shot deal, I may engage. That's what my sick mind say. Okay. But word is bond to Allah. I'm going to say to you that don't continue to recycle the same abuse that happened to you. That's something else I learned. That I'm out here saying that my mom, she didn't choose me. She chose my stepfather and don't nobody love me. Well, you out here sexually abusing yourself too, boo. Every time I allowed these men to come and lay on top of me, I abused myself. So now I am doing the same thing that my abusers done. So, like, that's what auditing did. That's what the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad did. I first had the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad before I had auditing. So I want to be clear about this, that Dianetics ain't the end all, the be all. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan said that Dianetic, the tool, will help us to unlock supreme wisdom. It will help us to stop running around in circles. It will help us to stop abusing each other, misunderstanding each other. We will learn how to properly communicate with each other. But that didn't make me not a Muslim. I'm an MGT first. And as you see from my language, I still struggle in that area. So I'm just saying. And that's another myth that I like to dispel. People think that just because you finished the auditing course, you became an auditor, and you became a Muslim, like you don't have defects of character that you still are working on. Our word is bond. I ain't nothing like I used to be with the language, nothing like I used to be. Now it's more category. I use it more in a category as opposed to everyday language. I ain't lying. Before it was mine. That's not proper language. I know you want to express yourself, but let's use something else. So when I venture off, I'm talking about something else, but then I get back to what we do. I say that because it's important for us to understand that there are no perfect people other than Allah. He is the perfect one. After him is like we're striving for perfection. And striving for perfection means I'm striving to get better. That means that I acknowledge that I need to get better, and I acknowledge that I'm not who I used to be. So I may use this language to speak the language of the people that I'm addressing. Now, when I'm speaking to the MDT about my life and about Dianetics, I would never use this language. I would use other languages.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on 1 second. Wifely duties call.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, let me say that's another thing that that the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had, is that I'm able to be a wife today. I don't have to be that little girl, that teenager who ain't gonna be like her mama. I ain't gonna be like her. No, ain't no man gonna do that what he did. No. I'm a total different person with a total different reality, and my husband's a total different man. So by Allah's permission, with the teachings, I love the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I watch him. Keep your eyes on the goal. If you're a basketball player, you keep your eyes on the goal, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're trying to put the ball in the goal, right? Not all on the field. That's the same thing. I watch him. I listen to him. I hear him. My husband has value. Even in his era, he has value. So instead of me dismissing him because of who his era, his flaws, I see past his flaws to his need.
Yes, ma'am. Praises to Allah.
That's what it has done for me. All praises due to Allah. That's another thing that the teachings, along with Dianetics, have done. So it ain't just Dianetics. I'm telling you, if you on the fence about joining the nation, join tonight. Come tomorrow night to study group. Build with us. Join Friday night. Come to class on Saturday, the best class on earth. Come Saturday and join Saturday. Come Sunday. Take the altar call. Accept the Lord Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior. Do that. Don't be on the fence about this life. It's the best life in the Nation of Islam. And no different than any other reality, we have flaws. But our goal is the top, and that's where we at.
Excellent. I have another question for you, Sister Amina, and thank you all for your great comments and your love and your support. Sister Amina, thank you for being so transparent.
Allahu Akbar.
The drug use. I didn't know that it was. I didn't know your situation with drugs, and you've been, clean for so long. Praise be to Allah. But with the younger generation, who parents may not want to tell their drug stories and things of that nature, how can you help go, because it is a big epidemic in our religion? How can you help them go about getting clean based off of what you experienced through the auditing process as well?
Let me say this to you, right? I'm right outside of my home group, right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I still make meetings. You got to plug yourself into people who is going or at where you want to go. Now, I go to meetings because I got to still channel these emotions until we start auditing regularly. You're feeling me? And when I go to meetings, the real is you can feel good now, but you paying later. And you know what the pain look like. So I'm saying, like, smoking that damn loud, it stinks. I'm just saying. You can't get a good job. So your money ain't right. Your relationships ain't right. Your relationships with your children ain't right. Your relationships with other people. You always in a fantasy, always in a fog. And the loud, if it's anything like weed or cocaine, you always want to feel good. Again, it's like running after an orgasm. So I came to the reality that I no longer wanted to be a slave to the disease of addiction. So even though it feel good, let me tell you, getting high was the bomb in the beginning. Yeah. The ultimate. Have mercy, Father God, in the holy name of Jesus. I'm saying it was nothing like, listen, you felt like nothing mattered. I know I got to work, but fuck it. I'm just saying, shit like that. I know that I'm supposed to take care of my kids, but fuck it. Stuff like that. I'm saying that after you finish getting high, the reality of your situation is still there. So that's why you got to keep getting high. I'm saying, take the leap of faith and go to your nearest mosque and in a meeting. We ain't perfect just yet in the application of this process. Go get yourself some help. And in the meantime, some of us, especially those of us that we way out there with our pain and grief and our behaviors, you sometimes need outside help. So until we get regular with this auditing process on a regular basis, go get some help. Reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. And I promise you, they're going to give you some skills to stay away from the drugs and the alcohol and the illicit sex a day at a time. Because you chasing feelings. That's all you're doing. It's not a reality, it's a feeling. I don't want to feel, so we get high. I don't want to feel, so we cheat and we engage in illicit behaviors that are risky. How about most people don't even use protection? I mean, the HIV is real.
That's right.
Over a feeling, you don't even care about the consequences. So I'm saying, if you're struggling, reach out. Go to your nearest mosque. And I'm going to tell you, reach out to the realest in the mosque. It's important because some of us have forgotten where we came from. And I know that they got, listen, Allah saw us before he even chose us. So they're chosen too, and they're for someone else. But for those of us that come from a raggedy place, find you a reform raggedy. Listen to that person who said, oh man, nigga, I used to sell drugs. I used to be a drug addict. I used to beat the fuck out of my woman. Oh, you said used to? Whoa. Now he's going to teach you skills on how to stay away from that life. How that even though your woman busts off her mouth and you feel like punching in the face, you say to yourself, nah, brother, when you knock her out, you're going to go to jail. You're going to destroy yourself, because really succumbing to that fleshly feeling really destroyed you. So when you talk to somebody who is in the process of resurrection and reformation, for real, it's going to give you some skill sets. So whatever mosque that you go to, talk to somebody who is in the process. That's why they call the minister the reformer, because his life is about reformation. The Nation of Islam, our only mission is the resurrection of the dead. It ain't about nothing else but resurrection. And we tend to forget that. So then you make people think that if they not the end result, that they ain't worth nothing.
Yes, ma'am. Excellent. And praise be to Allah. Thank you. And Sister Amina, I mean, it's just very powerful. I want to thank you. Amina says great question. Hold on, Sister. I had a question. I'm coming to your question, Sister Marquita. I think she wrote that question. Yes, Marquita, I'm coming to your question. Sister Erica says, peace. Damn, Amina Haqq, I knew you were crazy, but I didn't know why. But I bear witness to your transformation and the beauty of your expression. May Allah continue to bless you. Love you. Love you. Brother Rashad. Oh, this is Brother Rashad Muhammad. Oh, okay. No, this is Brother Rashad. This is Brother Rashad Trays who is saying this. I will never call him that, but that's what he wrote. Brother Rashad from the East, who said that. Okay, yes, ma'am. Tell it, sis. Rochelle, heart sign. Sister Debbie. Mimi says you are teaching. Naima says facts on facts. Keith, soldiers, the best soldiers are still in the street. Mariana, this is very powerful. Yes, ma'am. Now, Sister Amina, what I deal with, only focusing on people who are 35 and under. If you're older than that, then you're my parents or uncles, aunties. My job is not to teach you. So I'm only trying to inspire the people who are 35 and under. With STDs running rampant in religion, all religion, it is running rampant. The drugs, the homosexuality, whatever everybody thinks, everything that's in the world is in the house. How do you inspire people to get Dianetics to to help heal them if people don't want to talk about that?
Let me say this. I said this before, but let me say it again. You can't heal a wound without exposing it to air. So, okay, I can't talk to Brother Josh about it, but I can sit down with an auditor. Oh, I'm scared she's going to tell my business. Bitch, your business is in the street, nigga. Damn. All in the damn clinic, your ass got chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis. I'm saying, so what? Trust somebody. And let me say this. The auditor or anybody else, that's why I don't give a freak what people think about Amina Haqq. You understand? I am Allah's beloved. I know this. It ain't arrogant. I've watched him do this in my life. So I don't care what people think about me in my process. Because what's going to happen when I continue to go, you know where Allah's taking me, brother, 80 miles an hour upwards towards him. So while people is behind me, 55, she fat, she cussing, bitch, you behind me, I'm in front of you. So I'm saying though, and that's just my expression. Let me be clear that it ain't the expression, it's mine. But you're not going to continue to make the same excuse that I'm not worthy. I am worthy. So I'm saying the same thing to that brother and sister who struggles wherever they at. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he says, when he started acceptances, he say to them, even if you don't come to the mosque, I want you to go back to your church and make it better. So it ain't just about them joining a religion. Yo, if everybody from Atlanta came to your mosque, they couldn't even fit the people. So we're not about building people in the building. We're about building lives. So I want you to tell all your goddamn business to the right person and get free. Get free. You can't use nothing against me. So people say Amina Haqq is crazy. I am, and you said what? Like you making a fucking diagnosis. You ain't said nothing, boo. I know that, and I'm working on it. Yes. What I want people to start doing is, instead of looking at other people, point to your own nasty ass self. Because even if you ain't fornicating, you know people fornicating, and you won't tell them about their goddamn self. So you a fornicator too. You just ain't doing it. Anybody that's my friend, anybody, know me. If I know you out there hoeing, I'm talking about your ass to you. I'm bringing it to your house. I don't do no damn text messages. Let somebody tell me, oh, yo, Sister Lucy, she out there tricking Amina. She left the mosque. First of all, I want to smack the shit out the person who told me. Like, why the fuck you telling me we ain't going to get her ass? Everybody who know me know this is what I'm about. So now I'm going to go to Lucy myself. Listen, I understand you struggling. What? Struggling how? Nigga, you ain't been to the mosque and I heard you on. Stop playing. I'm coming to say this to you that I love you. Allah still loves you. You ain't got to stay out here. It ain't about, let me tell you, you ain't out here hoeing because the niggas in the mosque ain't shit. You're hoeing because you wanted the reason. You wanted an excuse. So give up the excuses, come back, surrender to Allah, and go get you some help. If you don't want Dianetics, go get a therapist. You don't want that, go find you some support groups. Find something that's going to help you get better. I promise you, it all works. So for that brother and sister with the STD, go to a doctor, get some help, find out. And I'm going to tell you, I was an HIV case manager. I still have my certification. I just don't do the work. But I'm saying to you who don't know in this world that you can have a strain of HIV. And in your ignorance, you say to yourself, well, he got the virus, I got the virus, so we can have a relationship. Bullshit. I'm going to tell you actual fact. There are different strains of HIV. Dozens. So now say you are the person who takes your medication. You're good. You don't get sick. You start sexing a boy who got HIV and you start getting sick. You wonder what happened because I'm taking my medicine. Even if he's taking his, you got a different strain. Now they got to change your medication. And so for all of us that got these loose ass sensations and sexual desires, you're going to die. The wages of sin is really death. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about actions. If you don't go to work, do you get paid? Well, it's the same way. You get out here and you have risky behavior with people who don't care about themselves either, and you get what you get. If you lay down with somebody who have fleas, you're going to get fleas. I want to say if you're struggling, damn it, go find some help, babe. This ain't the life. And again, we're not talking about religion. We're talking about a way of life. I'm not talking, the Nation of Islam is not a religion. It's a way of life. I'm telling you that as Allah is my witness, I am not the woman I was yesterday, like literally on Wednesday. I went through something recently that rocked my entire world because my expectations of an individual was so unrealistic that it almost took me out of here mentally. I wanted to hurt this person. And let me tell you what brought me back to reality. Minister Farrakhan did Twitter, and it was talking about, if I can remember the quote, the quote was so simple, brother, but it was really about what do I really want to do? It was time for me to forgive. I couldn't say the same. I knew I was sleeping. I was thinking about this woman when I was sleeping. I was thinking about her when I woke up. I thought about her ass on the job. When I saw her, I would give her the greetings because I really wished her peace so I don't have to choke her out. But Allah is my witness. It was a Twitter post that made me to know that she is just as valuable as I am in the eyesight of Allah. So she hurt my feelings. So she hurt she with me. She and I had a bad experience, but Allah still loves her. She's still worthy. That if I would even to think bad thoughts about his servant, that I would be messed up with him. So it helped me to become less selfish. It wasn't about me. And immediately, about today is the 28th. I'm going to say about 3 weeks ago, I just came through. And I'm talking about, I don't think negative of her in that way. She ain't never apologized. She ain't gonna apologize. Because the reality is, all that helped me to understand that I cannot ask Stevie Wonder, yo, Stevie, could you meet me across the street? Stevie, could he come across the street? Why can't he come across the street? Because he is not capable of sight, right? This individual, right now, my opinion, let's be clear, for those of you who may know, my opinion, she lacks the ability right now to apologize for her behavior. But it ain't personal. That was another thing. I had to know that me and her experience wasn't personal. Auditing helped me there too. I had to get audited through this process. And therapy. I need a lot of different tools to handle the situation. And my sponsor, my auditor, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan all said the same thing. This wasn't about Amina. This was about like here's what Minister Farrakhan taught me. So young people, let me say something to you. And let me keep it 100. It wasn't about what people did to you. It's what came out of you. I was insane. I was insane with rage, anger. I was bitterness. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that I had come this far after my mother's death. And how good I felt to go back there over some bullshit. It ain't personal. The person is that's what they character flawed with. Like I got character flaws. So she's no less than myself. And this is what this process have taught me. So I want to say my younger brothers and sisters up with all this violence, all this acting out on behaviors, it's primal. You understand? Dogs urinate everywhere. Human beings go to the bathroom and use the toilet. So I also learned in this process that my feelings were very, very, very primal. I was still on a basic level of just feelings. Okay, so I wasn't using the drugs, but I was acting like a damn drug addict. Obsessing and compulsion. And Allah, all praises due to Allah. Just this Twitter. I'm going to share this Twitter on your page later because I know it's in my phone. But the Twitter message was just so simple. I got it. And that's why I want people to know how powerful the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is as a result of him obeying Allah. It ain't him in his flesh. It's his obedience to God, his suffering. He went through stuff that we going through and he shares it openly. Like, dig it. Let's talk about that. Remember we talked about transparency and people being afraid of sharing? Man, Minister Farrakhan shared the whole damn world his business. And he's still a God. Child of the Most High God. You feeling me? So it don't take no power away from you by exposing what ails you in order to air it out. It's like, yo, when your house is funky, don't you open up windows to air it out? Do you care that people are gonna smell whatever is in the house? No, you trying to air it out. Get it out. Get it out of me. Get it away from me. It's the same thing with like going to a doctor. You just want to feel better. And that's what I want to share about auditing therapies that get help. You don't have to suffer no more. Get it. And I want to tell you how therapeutic listening to the minister at night is. So it's nothing wrong with an occasional dip in the empire. Housewives of Atlanta. Loving hip hop. You know, just a little humor away from this hard life. But don't binge on it because you jump in the fires, you know? I say at night when I want to go to sleep, I don't care what the tape is. I put something on YouTube for the minister and I can sleep at night. And the guidance is, man, that's what helps to quell this angry giant. I mean, man, listen, if I had the power to hurt someone, it would be a really bad situation. I would be wearing prison numbers. But as a result of listening and following and obeying the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, getting myself some professional help, I'm good. I ain't going to jail. We ain't gonna meet Set it off crew up in no prison. I'm not her. We ain't got none of them damn tendencies going on here. And I don't like being behind bars. I don't like being stationed. I don't like nobody telling me what to do all the time. So if I don't like people telling me what to do in the mosque, what I look like going to prison? So I'm just saying, if you're struggling, I want you to sit down in front of an auditor, a stranger, just find that one person that really wants to help you. And if you ain't ready for auditing, find that one reformer in the mosque, that sister, that brother who you see who is loving, kind, patient, who have overcome some difficulties and want to help you. Somebody that believes in you. Find that person. So if you're struggling, young brother and sister, man, find that person in the mosque. We're here. It's a bunch of us all over the country. For real, though. Was that good?
Excellent, Sister Amina, and thank you very much. And you got so many comments. I wanted to read Sister Debbie's comment, who says, "Thank you, sis. You got me crying. I needed to hear this. Thank you." And thank you, Sister Debbie. He says, "That's real." Sister Brother Keith says, "Talk recovery. Teaches the captain." Nadira says, "That's my auntie." Okay, a lot of other comments. Sister Amina, I want to thank you very much, and I want to just encourage our listening audience to, man, let's get help. Let's get help. I too bear witness of the power of Dianetics, of course the teachings, but what Dianetics helped me to be better. Because if people, I was telling somebody the other day, if you knew me in high school, as many people, all I did was fight. All I did was fight, and I have not been in a fight in quite some time. And Dianetics is a big help for that. And man, y'all, we need therapy. We need help to channel this anger. And man, I'm happy that we could help other people. I hope that when people listen to this, they can get some kind of a win, some kind of a release, and some kind of encouragement to try to, let's get help. Let's get help.
You making me want to cry. Oh man, I feel like right now you need to do an altar call so I can just walk up to the altar.
Now I'm just saying we need it. We need it. It's no point for us to act perfect as if we're not battling stuff right now. That's all I'm saying. So I just try to use this platform as much as I can to try to encourage positivity. Sister Amina Haqq, I can't wait to show this to my mom, I'm sure she's watching. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a special edition of the record. If you all have testimonies, if you have some things that you battle with and through the process of therapy or Dianetics that you got to overcome, please inbox me because I want to highlight it at least once a week, a different person. Sister Amina, thank you so much. I know for my audience, my target audience is 35 and under, that you've helped them, you spoke their language, and they understand that, and that's encouraging. Please give your family my love, and I love you very much, Sister Amina Haqq, and thank you very much, and thank you all for watching.
Listen, send me, where can I help? Where can I send a donation for your podcast? Send me that.
I'll text you.
Text it to me. And if any of the sisters and brothers want my info, want my number, please share that with them.
Yes, ma'am. I will. And I appreciate you. The sister's gonna be called because Lord have mercy. That's why I was happy that I didn't know that Brother Rashad was watching. I thought it was his wife when I saw his name. But what you are for younger sisters is what Brother Rashad was for me and many people all around the country. But before I was getting audited, Brother Rashad was telling me, Josh, you're being, angry, you're being an ass, you're showing off. He was from love though, but he helped me become the man. And you need that. It was not for him as a mentor. I don't know where I would be. So yes, if y'all need some help or mentorship, please go to Sister Amina Haqq. We need that. And thank y'all. I'm excited. I'm very happy.
I love you, and I'm so proud of you.
Yes, ma'am. I love you more. All right, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.